Give me just 1 second to verify that that worked.
Hey.
Yeah, aside from insect bites and sunburns, it wasn't.
Not too bad, huh?
It was very.
Well, at least you had the state examiner there, and just in case.
Blisters, sunburns, bug bites, dehydration.
Ugh. It was hot.
So, yeah, that last day on the trail was only 103. Balmy.
Wow. Was it overcast at all?
A little bit, which just made the humidity about 60%.
Worse. And that makes it worse.
Okay,
Way
I think.
worse.
Was all.
You ready?
I'm going to turn this on, and it's going to sound weird for a second.
Okay.
I just want to make sure we've got audio. I'm going to turn this on, and it's going to sound weird for a second.
Hello.
I want to make sure we've got audio. Maybe. Turn this on, and it's going to sound weird for a second.
Hello.
Yep. Okay, we're golden. I'm going to turn that off. Maybe. Okay, I'm ready whenever, Commissioner.
With Matthew. Exactly. I just thought, while I'm doing my other stuff. That always happens with him. Good. You good? Okay, welcome here to Iron County Commission meeting this morning, Tuesday, the 26th day of July, 2022. And we had to go on Tuesday because of the holiday. We will have a prayer from Mike and then the pledge from Sam. We'll start off.
Our Father in heaven, as we gather here today, we're truly grateful for the opportunity to meet together and discuss the issues of our county and our community. We're grateful for the opportunity we have to enjoy that freedom. We're thankful for the blessings that was poured out upon our community, especially the moisture. And we pray that it will continue in a metered amount, please. Father, we're grateful for the opportunity we have to serve, and I ask that thy Spirit be with us today as we talk about issues and make decisions, that we will do what's best in thy eyes as well as for the county. Father, we're thankful for all of our many blessings and pray for thy continued Spirit to be with us, and do so in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
You'll join me in the pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mike and Sam. Appreciate that. We will see if we can, let's have approval of, could I have a motion for approval of minutes? 6/27/2022.
I'll move for approval of the minutes of 6/27/2022.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
And now may we have approval of claims?
Move to approve the claims for payment from June 29th, 22 to July 25th, 22.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. We will go to departmental reports. Can we have Nicole first? The illustrious Nicole.
Sorry, I asked to be first because I'm riding solo in my office today. So John's office is nice enough to keep their.
So you're back and forth.
So
Thank you.
you are welcome. It's the time of vacations in my office, so we're working it out. But okay, so the first paper that I gave you is our product sales, which just shows what we've collected since January 1st. So we've collected about 15 million, almost 15.5. So moved along through personal property and that went really well with Nicole collecting for personal property mobile homes this year, so I think that's going to be helpful. I hope Harston's office is liking that. I think it's a lot better to have those separation of duties where they're putting the value on we're collecting, and then the auditor's office is doing all the abatements for them, so I think that's a really good change. The next one is just tax distribution, and that is just the money that comes to the county. And of course, it's not our big time to collect, so it's not really big. And then our pool cash, we're doing really good with our cash. We had the final CARES money come in, and then also our PILT money came in this month too, so we're glad to have that. Our PTF rate, the interest rate, which of course is great for me, but it makes Dan cry, but it's up to 1.12, and the last time I reported it was at 0.52, so it's inching its way up each month. We're still investing with Morton Asset and just kind of waiting to see what's going to happen with the jail, and we'll maybe put some more funds out there with them. They've done a really good job for us, so really appreciate working with them. And you all probably got a little flyer in your disclosure notice that went out. We're starting to work with a company called BillTrax, and they're going to email notices and disclosures for us. We have done it in the past out of our system, but there's no way to verify they have received it, that they have opened it, and this company they can do that. They can verify when it was received, that they have opened, and so we have proof that they have received their notice. So we're really excited to work with them. We're the first one to work with them, so there may be a few bugs this first year, but the guy is super. We'll call him and say, hey, can you go in and change this? We want this wording different. And he can do it immediately, and we can see it. And so I'm hoping it's going to be a really good change. We're hoping it will save on postage for us. Postage is getting terrible, plus
Just
delivering the mail is getting terrible. And also the cost of paper, she said the prices are going up every 3 days. And they're having a hard time getting paper. So they've already started ordering paper for October for our tax notices. They've been ordering the last few months. So it's crazy. We had to proof our envelopes 3 months earlier because of just struggling to get paper. So we're hoping, and of course the new millennials, they want to get everything by email and text, and so we're hoping that will be a good change for us. Our outstanding taxes are about $6,200,000. Last year at this time they were $5,800,000, so we're up just about $300,000. And we have been using the scanner from State Bank, and that seems to be going really well. The departments can come in and scan their deposits in, so I think that's been kind of helpful. Saves us running to the bank and setting in line at the bank, so we've enjoyed it in our office. May tax sale went really well. I think all the properties sold except for one, so we did really, really well. My budget is super. Of course, I spend all my money at the end of the year, and so I'm always in really good shape at this point. But we're just doing really well, and just appreciate my people and their hard work, and appreciate you guys and all you do for us.
Thank you.
Any
Thank
questions?
you, Nicole.
Or you're good? Okay. I'll sneak back down there.
Thank you. Okay, Karsten, the assessor's office.
So a couple quick updates. The first one is we transitioned software countywide. We're on the state's Puma system now. And so that we just, right after we rolled is when we moved to our new software. That's been like any transition to a new software has had some of its challenges. But primary challenge we've been dealing with lately is, I'm sure you're all aware, is the notices went out, and so we've just been completely bombarded with concerned citizens about values and taxes and so forth. And that's probably the thing that I'm sure you're aware, but want to convey to you that you can give them my cell phone number. You can redirect them to me. I'm happy to meet with them. My schedule's pretty full this week, just meeting with taxpayers that are coming in concerned about their lives. I mean, this is the core of government, really, where sort of the public really interfaces with government, and it's in this capacity at the county that they do. I'm happy to talk to them, and so if you encounter those phone calls, pass my cell phone number along to them so that I can help address their concerns. In terms of our budget, the only item that is going to be a struggle is continuing education. We just have 4 people that are working on getting licensed, and that is there's a high cost associated with licensing, and so likely will not be within that. Likely will not be within that budget for this year as they are moving through their licensing process. So otherwise we're in good shape. I think the final thing I want to comment on is just how thankful I think everybody is countywide with the decision, especially in our office. I know everybody's expressed gratitude for making a really hard decision. You guys made an incredibly challenging and tough decision, that affects the lives of each person that works for the county. And so I think everybody is thankful that you had the courage to do that. That was a tough choice, tough decision. That's pretty much all I have, short and sweet, but I can answer any questions you guys have too.
So Karsten, and we've got a lot of calls about the evaluation or assessments and everything, the evaluation. So my understanding of it in layman's terms is as property rates increase or as property values increase, the rate decreases, right? And that's, and the way Dan explained it to me was you might hit your 5-year assessment and your average might be a little higher than others, but just because everybody's values go up, they lower the rate so that you're still collecting the same amount of money to operate the county, correct?
Correct. In fact, one phone call, the person was complaining to me about their value having increased, but then I was looking and their tax went down. So, I mean, the amount that they were paying in taxes decreased, and that's not always the case, but in his particular situation, he was complaining about, he's like, this is ridiculous. And I said, well, your taxes actually went down. I mean, your value went up, but your taxes went down in your situation. And it's because other people's values went, considerably higher than his particular property. But yeah, in theory, that's how it works. We all know if you see your tax notice, like 70% of it goes to the schools. I mean, it's the majority.
So I was going to say that's gone up too, right?
It's actually 84%, isn't it?
80.
Is it now?
The bulk of the taxes that are paid go to the school, and a very small amount goes to running these entities and offices that the county services provides. So,
well, and interestingly, a few entities have increased their rates for different reasons over the last few years, and Parowan is seeking to do it this year. So, that's a factor.
It's a factor. It's the idea that I think people, especially the public, has a misconception that that their taxes double with the when their property value doubles, then their taxes double too, and that's generally not the case. But it's hard to explain that to people in a simple, brief conversation. So, but I do invite you to pass out my cell phone number, tell them to call me directly, and I can meet with them and help explain to them exactly what's going on with their particular assessment. So,
okay.
Hey.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karsten. Okay, we'll go to IT. Jared?
So before I start on that one, just a comment, maybe Carson, we could try doing this, is put an explanation on the website. Because believe it or not, me being the IT nerd, I get that question a lot. It's like, how does the tax thing work? And so I try to explain it to them as well, but that might be a good thing that we can kind of push out and maybe explain. Maybe it'll pull a little bit of weight from you, getting the visitors coming in and they can have a place to see it. But we'll visit more, I guess. We can chat about it more.
That's a great idea,
do an
Jared.
FAQ.
That's a really good idea.
So
Put
I'm
that
sure
on
a
the
lot of
website.
others are getting those questions as well. If they're asking me about it, and yeah, I had to go ask questions.
We got yelled at by one fellow.
Yeah. So I apologize. I don't have anything prepared for you to see or anything else, but I'm happy to answer any questions. And I'll give you just kind of a little bit of what we've been up to the last little bit. But right now, the first thing is the budget. I was just looking at it this morning and got the mid-year budget report, and we've utilized 48% of the budget, so just a little bit under. Which I was a little bit surprised. Usually I'm a little bit over. Most of my expenditures come out at the beginning of the year. And so usually I'm playing catch up through the whole year before it balances out. So barring some weird anomaly where we have to purchase something, we should be all right budget-wise for this year. A couple things that we've done. We've put in some new security cameras with Bruce out to the Borough landfill. We've had some illegal dumping going out there, so Bruce contacted us and we've been working together, and we got one installed out there. So hopefully we can
That's great.
deter, or we can find out
is
who
there
it is.
a possibility we could do that at the fairgrounds? We're having issues with the four-wheelers and the bikes tearing
Sure.
up the parking lots. Our brand new parking lot has got big divots in it already.
Uh-huh.
So
We definitely can. So we've been looking at a whole bunch of different companies, and Bruce actually found one that we haven't tried yet, and he wants to try them. So, but their cameras are getting really good to where they can zoom right in, get details on license
that's
plates
awesome.
and everything else. So
yeah, I
so
think we
they're-
better look at that because that is an issue right now.
And we've got the infrastructure in place too, so it'll just be a matter of running a few lines in that to get the cameras going. So,
Oh yeah,
so
yeah.
it'll be good. Of course, the expense.
Well, and
will
we've
have
got
to,
power too, those poles out front too, for the lighting. So
so
that'd be awesome.
cool. Yeah, we'll start pricing it out on that, and I can get you some quotes on that.
Okay.
I
Find out
know.
who it is and go give them a rake.
Yeah. Exactly.
There you go. Fix it up.
We talked to the Parowan Police Department also, and they came over and talked to us and said we really are trying to keep on top of it, but you can't be there 24/7. There's no way.
Sure can.
So if we had cameras, that would make a huge difference, and I think it would deter it just to have them there.
So I was about ready to say it's a good deterrent if anything
Yes,
else. And then
yes.
if you need it, then it's there. So
Yeah,
for sure.
really
So, yeah.
good. So
Yeah, we'll look at that.
okay.
So work orders is another one that I kind of looked at, just kind of see what our second quarter was, and we were averaging about 265 work orders a month for those 3 months. So, which is actually just a little bit lower than normal. Usually we're about 280, 290. So
Maybe you're on top of it.
So, well, we hope so. Or things aren't breaking as much.
Yeah, that's good.
No, so, and it could be too. I know I find myself, I'll get into a phone call coming in where it's I need this done immediately, and then I forget to put the work order in. So it could be that situation as well. You just never know. But ebb and flow of things kind of just goes. So
Yeah.
anyway, that's about really the gist of all that stuff. Well, we are working with the clerks and recorder and engineer's office on a new addressing thing for GIS. So Kendall put
Yeah.
together one, and
We,
we're
I know
hoping
we've
that
had
it
issues
helps.
with that, haven't we?
We're hoping to get it solved.
Yeah,
So
very
I
good.
think we will.
There's a really good solution which I'm not happy about.
Yeah.
Marilee's going to work.
I know, but that is a good solution.
That was your solution.
She'll be awesome over there.
Well, we sat in the meeting talking about it, and those guys were giggling at me because they already knew what was going to happen, but I didn't yet. So
That's funny. Now you do.
yeah, now I do.
So good for
Just hope-
addressing.
Hope we can replace her with somebody as good as she. Because
We're going to look at some
that's gonna be
resumes
hard.
later today. So
Good.
So yeah, unless you guys have any questions for me, that's about it from what
Good.
I've got.
No,
Okay.
appreciate it.
Thank you, Jared.
Yeah, appreciate you guys'
Appreciate
support
all
and
you.
everything. It's been great.
Yep.
So thanks.
Well, I guess Mike, we'll go to commission reports.
I don't have a whole lot.
Oh, this has been kind of a crazy week.
It's been between I did want to mention, I mean, this really doesn't have anything to do with commission, but you know, this is the time of year to kind of remember where we came from and our heritage and the pioneers. And I had the opportunity last week to go on the Pioneer Trek with our stake. Jeff was my daughter Kylie's pa. But I mean, it's just a really good, really good reminder of where we came from and where, you know, some of the struggles that those guys faced. I think that's important to remember these time of year. We've, you know, it's flooding time. There's been groups really come forward to volunteer with sandbags. George has really been on the top of that. I was out of cell service this last weekend down in New Mexico at my wife's family's cabin doing some maintenance down there, and as soon as I got back in, I got all the George updates.
A lot.
So I appreciate that, and he's really on top of that. We went through some horrific storms yesterday coming back from New Mexico. I was really glad that it was happening there and not here. It was really all the way for a couple of 100 miles. We had really heavy rain, so
We've been holding our breath.
It can stay down there. That's fine. We've been really good on fires. Coordinated with the fires with the fire departments a lot. I think the prevention stuff is working. I mean, we've had a few small things, find some decent wood to knock on, but they've been really good. Oh yeah, knock on your dome. No, everything, for whatever reason right now, everything's running pretty smooth. Again, there's not a lot of hiccups, so
that's awesome.
It's been good. We get the holidays over with and get back to normal.
Yep. Okay, Paul.
I stepped out. Matt said they're all good over there.
Oh,
they went down to the north and found some markings, and they felt
they're good.
So
okay.
They've almost got that third hole dug, so they're good.
Oh, cool.
So we got an email from Dave Demas. He's the deputy director for UDOT, and I just thought I'd bring this up. He said he was forwarding an email. This group is working on the long-range rural transportation plan. This outreach effort hopes to gather information from the public. They are asking for comments and ideas to help solve transportation needs. So they're seeking input from the public. And that's just something that he's actually Dave's with 5 County, I believe, but he was forwarding that on behalf of UDOT. So, but anyway, that's just, if the public has any comments or ideas they have, they're open for suggestions on some of those things they're working on. The other thing that all I have is we had and I can't remember if I reported this already, but we had a successful meeting. We had most of the mayors, city managers from our county, in towns, municipalities meet a couple of weeks ago, talking about water conservation, trying to encourage the use of water-wise fixtures and different things to encourage builders when they construct new properties that they install these water-saving devices, and also some local landscaping ways, incentives we can give. Just starting the discussion with the county, with cities, how we can do that in regards to saving water. And so that's we're starting that conversation and continuing that from obviously it's always been going on, but trying to focus on some more things there. So that's pretty much all I have.
Okay. I just want to thank Bruce Anderson. He took the initiative to look at our landfill. This is such a big deal, I can't even tell you, that he got our new permitting, it just passed last week, to increase our landfill a lot. Probably, he figured that it would probably go out 100 years. So that is, so huge for our county, because the money savings to do a landfill is so much money. They usually dig them out. They have to line them. You have to have all of the permitting from EPA and all of the different agencies. And so for him to take that initiative to have this re-permitted, and it'll just actually go on top of what we already have, but we were not permitted for that, but we are now. And it's taken, when I first came into office, he was just starting, he just kept saying, well, it'll pass, we'll get our permitting, and it's been a year and a half out that finally last week we got that permitting. This is such a huge deal. It like I said, I think he said it would save the county at least $280-something million, because we're so lucky to have those old iron mines that are solid rock. We do have to monitor the water wells around them. We may have to drill one more well that they was a little concerned about, but it's a huge deal, and I just want to give a shout out to Bruce, because he took the initiative to do that. I mean, it's awesome.
That's great news.
As we speak, they're out to the fairgrounds. Like Paul said, we had a little issue with blue stakes this morning, but I think they're digging and getting those ranch entrances up, and we're really excited to get those up and see how those are going to look. I mean, you plan and you get the bits and pieces, and to actually get that put up is going to be really neat. So we're excited about that. The lawn in front of the new bleachers is in. It's beautiful. The concession area will be coming next. They'll start working on that. And Joyce told me this morning that the inmates from the jail come and help for the whole month before the fair. And so we're really excited they'll be coming on board. And they're just such great help to the county in so many ways, but especially for the fair. So, anything else that you guys have? Questions or anything? Nope. Okay. You bet. You bet. Let's let Cindy come up and do. I know she's got a big. I know she's got a big meeting coming up.
Off my schedule, not off my schedule, but kind of. Just want to make sure you all know a couple things. The security summit that Congressman Stewart sponsors or is involved with is the 5th, and if those tickets are still available, if you are interested, you can get that on the website, or if you want to let me know and I can send you a link to tickets for that. Also on the 8th, Celeste and Connor from our DC staff are doing a workshop on community project funding. That is probably you can go there, a number of them, but the easiest one I think for you will be the one in Beaver at 3:30. And we moved that. I know you've got a meeting with, you've got commission meeting and then a meeting with David Burton. So hopefully I pushed that back. So assuming David Burton's meeting is an hour, half hour-ish to Beaver, we should be able to make that. But if that doesn't work, there are the next day a meeting at 9 o'clock in Panguitch, and you're welcome to come to that one too. We just tried to kind of do it in geographical areas, but it'll be the same presentation. So if for some reason you can't make it to Beaver on Monday, then on Tuesday the 9th, 9 o'clock in Panguitch, or if you want to go to Richfield, 2 o'clock in Richfield on the 9th as well. And
but it's at 9 o'clock in Panguitch.
9 o'clock in Panguitch. In case we can't
go. Okay.
And then the following week of the 5th is the 5 and 6 county congressional tour. The congressman will be involved in just a part of that at Ruby's, and then we'll be doing a town hall on Tuesday the 16th in Panguitch. You are all always welcome to come. the DC staff will send, invitations to, or not invitations, we'll put it on the website and let everyone know, but sometimes they don't do all of Iron County if it, it just is, they kind of look at it as a geographical area, but you are more than welcome to come, and that is at 7 o'clock on Tuesday the 16th in Panguitch. And then on Wednesday the 17th, he's having another two more town halls, one at noon in Kanab and one at 7 in Washington, in St. George in Washington Town Hall. So, August recess, he tries to spend as much time as he can in the district and meeting with people. Mm-hmm. And then a couple of bills that are probably of interest. The formula bill made it out. He is co-sponsor with Senator Lee on that. It made it out of the Senate committee yesterday, so I don't know when they're going to vote on that, but it has received good bipartisan support on that, and that is just to make it so formula is more readily available, taking some of the tariffs and stuff off of that so people can actually get formula and can afford it when they get it. And then the congressman dropped a bill last week on rural EMS. It is to help with equipment, but and I can give you the full, I'll email you just so you have it, the full language of the bill, but basically we tried to craft it so that it would help more the rural counties, and it's kind of based on the ratio between population and visitors. So the smaller your population, the more visitors, the more likely it is that it's your group that's going to have to go out and rescue people off some of these things, and it's been devastating to many budgets, counties, as you know. So trying to get some equipment that we've got real good support on too, but it's early in the process. So,
is there certain what class of counties does it?
Doesn't say what
say
class.
That.
It just has
an amount of persons and
tourism.
Kind of
a ratio so that the smaller counties with more visitors get more money than the larger counties. Not that they don't need it, but their budgets can absorb that a little bit more easily than some of the real small counties. So it will definitely help Iron County. Probably not Washington County as much. Definitely help,
Paiute.
Like Paiute and Garfield and some of those.
They really need the help.
Yeah, I mean, we just
it's a huge.
They get and they just don't have the work or the number of volunteers either. If you get a call out on, Calf Creek Falls, and they go out and then Grandma has a heart attack, it's like, oh, sorry, no equipment, no people. Hope you can get her there before something happens. So it's been really, it's been a struggle for those smaller counties. So, and that's kind of the highlights. That's all I have, unless you have questions for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for stepping up, and we're glad you came. Okay, we'll go ahead and take a break. We'll come back at 10 and do our 10 o'clock meeting. Okay, welcome everyone to the 10 o'clock portion of Iron County Commission, Tuesday the 26th day of July 2022. And we will go ahead and get started with the number one. Public hearing, discussion, and possible approval of a proposed zone change with from industrial to commercial, approximately 51.46 acres. Located at approximately 9205 West Antelope Springs Road, Cedar City, Utah. Reed.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
This is a recommendation from the Planning Commission to approve this zone change located just out on just the beginning of the Antelope Springs Road after you turn off of the Iron Springs Road. There's a little triangular piece of property right here that has the small solar farm on this side. This is one of the 3 megawatt farms. This is the Iron Springs Road right here, the railroad, and then the Antelope Springs Road turns off and comes up like this. So this is a triangular piece that used to have a little racetrack on it and is zoned industrial. As you can see, this is industrial property all around. You don't get to 820 until you go over here, and with Frank Nichols' property and the Iron Springs Resort, there's some commercial property over here. The interest is to have this zone from industrial to commercial. This is what the property looks like currently. There's some racetrack around it, and there's a well on the property, a couple of other buildings. This is what it looks like. Here are some photographs of the buildings that are on the property. This is a layout of what they want to do with the property, and they have submitted an application for a travel trailer park, which is a conditional use permit, for the next Planning Commission meeting, assuming that this zone change gets approved. So they're looking at taking the whole property and rezoning it to commercial so that it can have some of the things that you couldn't do in the industrial zone, but because of its location with good access and things that they can do there, they think it would be a good fit. We didn't have any comment from any of the adjacent property owners at the Planning Commission. We had good discussion there and felt like that it was an appropriate use. They have a well. They would do sewer by septic. They would address all of the concerns through the conditional use permit for any development that is on there. There's power on the property currently. They would maintain the livestock trail on the road, and so I think that it seems like a reasonable request.
Okay. Chair calls for a motion. Public hearing. Chair declares the public hearing open. Seeing none, we will close the public hearing.
Reed, is that the water? Is that in the Burl Escalante? Is that the 73 or is it?
No, it's part of Iron Springs. It's part of the Cedar Valley.
Is it? Okay. Because it's close. That border is close to there.
Yeah, but the Water Conservancy runs the Desert Mound Road out to the mine. Right. It's actually east of where the mine is. And
are they good with water out there?
They have a good well there.
They got good rights.
They do.
Okay.
Yep.
Good.
All right.
Okay, now we can have a motion, I guess.
All right. I would move for approval of a proposed zone change from industrial to commercial for approximately 51.46 acres with the legal description as listed in the agenda, located at approximately 9205 West Antelope Springs Road.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. All righty, we'll go to public comment. Do we have any public comment today? I didn't see anybody out there, so. Okay, we'll move past 2 and go to 3. Discussion and possible approval of a
Contractor?
Contractor to build and planned county jail. And Dan Jessen is going to address this.
Okay, so I'm just going to real quick make a quick presentation, just a quick statement on the results of the jail contractor selection committee. And for the CMGC, stands for Construction Manager, General Contractor for the planned Iron County Sheriff's Office and Jail, County Jail. The committee was comprised of Joe Burgess, Phil Schmidt, Tyler Allred, which were 3 members from the public, which the commissioners selected. Also, we had from the county, Lester Ross, Terry Palmer from the building department, Shalon Shaver, our jail commander, and Ken Carpenter, of course, is the sheriff, and myself. Commissioner Blake sat in on the meetings but did not participate in discussions or voting. And I really wanted to thank those that participated, gave their time and their input, especially those that don't work for the county. Those 3 gentlemen are great examples of volunteerism and public service in their own careers. They've been good to help out a lot. It's not an easy decision. It's not an easy process, but when we started, there were 5 firms who gave qualifying proposals: Big D Construction, Bud Mahas, Layton Construction, Cirque, and Zwick Construction. Zwick, after went ahead and withdrew their application, figured that there were more qualified firms that had put in, and we respected their decision to withdraw, and we'll have a good relationship with them moving forward. That left 4 in the RFP. The criteria to evaluate the contractors was as follows: responsiveness to the proposal, experience as a team with similar projects, ability to meet the requirements of the work to be performed, understanding of vision and unique demands of the work to be performed, and anticipated costs. The committee convened on June 29th to review the proposals from the qualifying firms and to narrow the field to a short list. This was done using a scoring system based on the criteria that I just mentioned. We went through all of that in an objective manner to score all of the firms against each other. And when that was done, the top 2 scoring firms were Big D Construction and Layton Construction, which were invited to make a presentation, which they did in the previous commission meeting on July 11th. And they were both very professional and made great presentations if you were here to watch that. Then the selection committee reconvened. Not all of the selection committee was here, but they did have a chance to view those on YouTube, and there was a lot of good input. We met on July 20th and had to make a recommendation for this body. There was a robust discussion using this scoring system. Like I said, we basically looked at it and said, "Okay, is there anything that has changed?" And we just talked about everything, both from a kind of the scoring system, but just as in a general approach. And both firms, we certainly felt that were capable of completing the project and would do a good job. There was a lot of talk, devil's advocates back and forth. We looked at the different strengths of the firms and try to figure out which would be the best, really the best fit for our project. In the end, after weighing all the criteria, the committee decided to make a recommendation of Layton Construction to be the CMGC for the construction of the planned Iron County Jail and Sheriff's Office complex. The committee felt like Layton's experience building county jails, especially the modular design, which is what we have set our sights on, was really the biggest deciding factor. Additionally, we felt like their relationship with Babcock Design, who's the architect which we've hired, is important. As the sausage gets made on one of these, relationships are important. As you work through friction and problems and things, being able to have a relationship with everybody around the table is a key thing. And so these were ultimately the deciding factors. From a cost perspective, actually they were very close. Close enough that it became a really a non-issue as far as the deciding factor. Layton had a small edge there, but it wasn't. I mean, part of the costs. I mean, there's so many different factors between the pre-construction fee, the construction management fee, the construction supervision cost, and then markup on different potential aspects, whether it's work on their own stuff or change order markups, and one firm would have an edge over the other one on this and that. And so at the end, it kind of depends on how it plays out. Is it built in 24 months, or is it built in 20 months, or is it built in 26 months? One could have been cheaper than the other. So they were very close. And it was kind of not as big of a factor. These other things became really more of the deciding factor. So that's my report. That's the recommendation from the selection committee. And maybe Commissioner Blake could share his thoughts. He sat in on it and watched the process. He can at least tell you whether it was an honest process or what. I can answer any questions, but.
Oh, I was really impressed with the committee. The discussions were robust, as Dan said. In fact, hours went into this with the committee on a couple of different occasions. They were all really well prepared. They'd watched the presentations in commission meeting. I mean, they hashed out every little detail. So I was really impressed with the work of the committee, and at the end, they said, "All right, what do we do?" And I said, "Oh no, I'm not even here." I said, "I'm just sitting. I'm just watching so I can defend the process." But there's no need. They did a great job. So it was a unanimous decision by all of the committee members to make that recommendation. It was just really well done, I thought. So.
And to be fair, the committee really spoke highly of Big D and thought that they would do a great job. There was a lot of argument for Big D. We just felt that Layton edged him out in some of the areas that really, really mattered. And Ken, the sheriff's opinion, at the end of the day, it's your three's opinion, but Ken, from the start, really, really has been impressed with Layton. We have David Burton here from Layton. Wanted to mention him. But he was really impressed with them, and his concern. I concern about the money and the budget, and his concern is we're only going to build this thing once, and hopefully it'll last us for decades and decades and decades. And he's like, we've got to get somebody who knows these buildings specifically. So that was his. For what it's worth, that's Ken's opinion. So.
And in the end, I mean, there was a lot of. I was really impressed with the open-minded nature of the folks on the committee. I mean, there was arguments for Layton, there was arguments for Big D, and in the end, they consolidated all of that. But it really was there was no contention, there was no split vote. In the end, when everything was everybody said their piece and everything was considered, it was a unanimous vote. To recommend Layton. It wasn't there's no contention there, and no second guessing, I would say. It was a great discussion, though.
You guys got any other questions for me before you deliberate?
No. Does David want to say anything, or he's good? Very good. Awesome.
He didn't know this recommendation. He just showed up today hoping that I didn't feel it was appropriate to say it before it was presented to you guys, so
yeah.
I haven't said anything to anybody.
Very good. Thank you. All righty, I think we'll move on.
So I'm going to leave this one up to you two. Based on the business I've been in for 32 years as a subcontractor, and I've worked with all of these firms that were involved in this discussion. And I will say that I've worked for Layton as a subcontractor over the years, and they're very professional, great firm. I feel very good about it. But as far as voting on this, I'm going to abstain on this one, just because I'm involved. I've sold my business to my son 3 years ago, but I'm still involved in measuring jobs and advising him, and I just don't want any. And I wasn't planning this ahead of time. I just thought of it like 5 minutes ago. But maybe because of the microscope I'm under sometimes, I thought I might just abstain from this one. So
probably not a bad idea. So.
All right. Well, I will move for approval toward the contract to build the upcoming county jail to Layton Construction.
I'll second that. Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
Okay. Very
Or
good.
recuse, whichever one you.
However you say that. Very good.
I'll go with abstain.
Okay. I guess we'll move on to number 4. Discussion and possible approval of proposed amended plat, partial vacated and amended lots 14, 15, and 16, Block O, Meadow Lake Estate, final subdivision, vacating lots 15 and combining into lots 14 and 16, located at 2347 East, 2317 East, and 2305 East, Meadow Lake Drive, Bryan Head, Utah.
Is there really that many easts in there?
Yeah, that's what I wondered.
It's because they're all east. There's 3 lots.
3 lots.
So one is 347, one is 2317, and one is 2503 East Meadow Lake. So this is a project that is very straightforward. This is an older subdivision that's up on the mountain. You can see its location just southeast of Bryan Head on Highway 143. If we look at the zoning
But
there.
it is in the county, right?
It is in the unincorporated area. Here's Bryan Head town. And so if you go into Cedar Breaks and then follow 143 over towards Penguich Lake, it's just right here on the south side of the road. The property is zoned R1 half. There are some very small lots along there, and one person owns 2 of these lots right here, and the other person owns the other one. And so they're going to split that right down this middle lot right down the middle and give half of this lot to lot 14, half of this lot to lot 16. Or just the other way around. 14 is on the east side, 16 is on the west side. This is what the plat looks like. We've reviewed the plat, it's fine. They couldn't get signatures by the property owners in time to have it here on the Mylar, but they'll bring that in and then I'll hunt you down for signatures in terms of getting the Mylar signed, if approved. So this is a very straightforward, does not require any public hearing. We have notified the adjacent property owners. We did hear from one property owner that just wanted clarification, and then they were fine with it. This is a situation where no one seems to be opposed to having fewer lots up there.
Yeah.
They're grateful.
Don't blame them there.
That lot went away, and there's one less person in there. And even though they do participate a little bit in helping with the road, they realize that it would be a better situation. So it did not go to the Planning Commission. This is just a County Commission
approval.
Action.
Okay. Chair calls for a motion.
Okay, I'll go ahead and move for approval of the proposed amended plat, partial vacated and amended lots 14, 15, and 16. Block O Meadow Lake Estates, final subdivision, vacating lot 15 and combining into lots 14 and 16 within the northeast section, and as described there, as going forward in the agenda. And this is 2347 East, 2317 East. Wait.
East.
Yeah,
it is.
So you were talking about, is that wrong? 2347 East, 2317
The
East.
addresses
Oh,
of
and
the lots.
2305 East Meadow
Yeah.
Lane, Meadow Lake Drive, Bryan Head, Utah. That's confusing. Okay.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Very good. Motion carries. Number 5, discussion and possible approval of Resolution 2022-8, amending the Iron County subdivision construction and design standards.
In April, the Planning Commission recommended and the Plant County Commission approved a modification to the standards of the design construction standards, and now we've recognized a few little tweaks that still needed to be made, and especially on the driveways and the cross sections for those, and so they've been modified. Sheet number 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 are the ones that we're modifying. We changed some of the requirements in terms of the compacted subgrade for these because they're not county approved roads. These are private driveways on private property or improvements that we require in a county right of way prior to there being enough interest and people there to do a county improved road. So it's a WUI standard, the Wildland Urban Interface Code road. And since they're not county standard and the county won't accept and maintain them, the WUI standard is that it be a all-weather surface. And we have gone through and made these a little bit more reasonable in terms of subgrade, and giving discretion to the engineer to look at drainage and some of the things. We put some grade on these that didn't have on there before in terms of the slope off of the gravel road and the width. And so these are the sections that we're asking for a re-modification of after previously adopting. And this is the standard 12 is the on private driveway minimum cross section we didn't have previously in the book. But it's one that we can give to people getting a building permit so that they know what the driveway needs to be, what the width is, and meets the WUI standard code, since that we're obligated to enforce that. This was recommended by the Planning Commission for approval at the last July meeting.
Okay.
Can I call for
Any
a motion?
questions?
Now I'd move for approval of Resolution 22-8, amending the Iron County Subdivision Construction and Design Standards, Section 109, Road Standards, Cross Sections, and Exhibits, as explained by Mr. Erickson.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries.
Very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And you'll call me when we need to sign that. Okay. Discussion and possible approval public defender contracts for new district court attorneys Clifford Griffett and Robert Winterton.
Okay, I think I'm going to speak to that.
Oh, you're going to speak to that. Candace isn't here.
Yeah, so Candace was unable to make it. She explains that they were able to hire 2 new public defenders whose names are Cliff Griffett and Robert Winterton. They both began their case assignments for Judge Allen last week. Judge Bell and Judge Allen were especially pleased with the addition of public defenders and seemed very grateful to help and reinforcement to the district court caseload. With addition of more workers, we are going to be able to implement some new changes that the judges have been eager to do for a while. Juvenile court went back to in-person beginning in July. However, they still utilize WebEx for virtual hearings on some cases. The district court plans to do the same, where they will have some cases being held in person and some being held virtually. That is supposed to begin in August. The contracts, have been circulated. The public defenders have them, and just basically asking for approval.
I'm really happy about this. I think that they were kind of overloaded, and this will, I think, alleviate that some of that caseload. So I think this is going to be a really good thing for the county. Can I get a motion?
I'll move to approve the appointment of the public defender contracts for new district court attorneys Clifford Griffett and Robert Winterton.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, we'll go to 7, discussion and possible approval of Ordinance 2022-4, an ordinance adding the Iron County Criminal Justice Coordinating Council to the county code. Chad Dotson.
Good morning. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good, thanks.
Thank you, sir.
This was in the packet, I saw.
Thanks.
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 So this last legislative session, a bill was passed requiring each county to create a criminal justice coordinating council. That's found in 17-55-201. It's required to be in place by the first of the year, but I thought it'd be good to get it passed as an ordinance and resolution, and that way we can get the ball rolling, get the assignments made. There's certain members that are required to be on the board or on the council, and so we could get that moving. Essentially, the criminal CCJJ, the Council on Criminal Justice, came down and did a listening tour throughout the state of Utah, talking about JRI and all the different reforms that were done in 2015. There were several issues that were people were having with JRI, with funding and treatment and things. And so that listening tour, this came as a result of that. The council's main job is going to be to create a plan, objectives, and basically take account for the the systems that are in place and the resources for reducing recidivism and treatment and reintegration goals. There are other things that I think that we can do with it. One of the things I think would be wise is to have this council make decisions on how we spend the opioid funds, because I think that that's relevant to the criminal justice system and the impact that the opioid epidemic had. So there are two forms here. One is the ordinance and one is the resolution. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. The commission's responsibility in this is one of the commissioners will be the chairperson. The way I've modeled this after I've spoken with Eric Clark, he's the Washington County attorney. They've kind of had something similar in place for a while, and so we've modeled this after theirs. The county attorney is the co-chair in their system, and it looks like it works well. So I've put that in place. The sheriff will be on the council, as well as a district court judge and a justice court judge and other members of the criminal justice system. Any questions that the commission has?
So
okay.
I was just trying to stay with you. So you're also going to do co-chair with the commissioner and the county attorney. Is that the plan?
Yeah, or vice chair, or rather. Let me see how we worded it. Let's see, it's on the resolution. Vice chair. Yeah, the county attorney will vice chair, and any staff requirements or needs will be provided through my office. So that taking minutes of the meetings and things like that.
Okay.
I have one comment on the opioid money. My concern is with them taking that over, making those decisions. I would suggest that we put something in there that it's like more of a one-time thing with that money rather than an ongoing, so that and surely it's 18 years that we get that money, but my concern is then does the county have to take that over after that money is gone?
Oh yeah, we'll make sure.
You know what I'm saying?
I hear your concern, and we'll make sure that that's not something that the county is obligated for.
Yeah, afterward.
Going forward, yeah.
Yes. Any other questions?
When I wonder on that, I mean, it's kind of like the planning commission. I would presume that you can make the recommendation, but the budget decisions ultimately fall to the commissioners, even though it's really a pass-through type scenario.
Right.
But I think that's just the nature of the budgetary process. So.
I think this council could make a recommendation. Ultimately, the commission will approve.
Sure. I'm just saying that might assuage that
if it's something that looks like that it could go on and on like that. Yeah. But just keep that in mind with the council, I would say.
Yeah. So this is something we will have in place. I think we'll be ahead of the game if we get it done now and gets the ball rolling for January of next year.
Thank you for doing early.
No worries.
That's always good when you don't have to be rushing into something. Can we have a motion?
Do we want to do these together or separate?
I would suggest you do them separate because there's a roll call section on each one of those.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Move for approval of Ordinance 2022-4. It's an ordinance adding the Iron County Criminal Justice Coordinating Council to the county code.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Then we go to 8, discussion and possible approval of Resolution 2022-7, a resolution designating membership for the Iron County Criminal Justice Coordinating Council.
Any questions here? This is just essentially outlines who will be required to be on the council, and is the resolution establishing it.
Yeah. I think we can go ahead with the motion then, can't we?
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and make that motion to approve Resolution 2022-7, which is a resolution designating membership for the Iron County Criminal Justice Coordinating Council.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, very good.
I think there was some discussion last time about possibly joining with other counties. That's probably something that will happen. We usually partner with Garfield and Beaver.
Yeah.
However, every county is responsible to do it. So if that's going to happen, and we can have those discussions, and we can do an
Yeah,
MOU
we
of
talked
some
about
kind.
that we may partner with them.
Yeah.
When you
Yeah.
talked about that before, so that's always a good thing.
We can do that going forward. I just
Yeah.
thought it was prudent to get it done rather than wait and try to corral everybody.
Yeah, yeah, very good. Thanks, Chad. Okay, personnel, Jennifer.
Good morning. In the Sheriff's Office Patrol, Andrew Smart was selected from the most recent competitive recruiting process to backfill a vacant full-time Deputy 1, effective September 4th, 2022. In the Sheriff's Office Patrol, Josh Winder has completed all requirements to receive a promotion from a full-time Deputy 1 to a full-time Deputy 2, effective July 24th, 2022. In the Roads Department, Garrett Bastian and Kenan Emily were selected from the most recent competitive recruiting process to backfill the vacant full-time maintenance technician positions, effective July 26, 2022. And then in the Engineer Department, Marilee Wilson was selected from the most recent competitive recruiting process to transfer from the clerk's office to backfill the vacant Engineer Administrative Assistant position, effective August 7th, 2022.
Did I get a vote on this one?
I was just going to say that.
Sorry, John.
I want to go against that.
I was way ahead of you.
I might just say nay anyway. But.
I know. We've had many discussions, and it's going to be very bittersweet for sure.
We get a motion on all of the personnel.
Yeah, I'll move for approval of personnel issues as described by Jennifer.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank
Very
you.
good.
Thanks. What is a maintenance technician for a road? Is it just basically
It's a helper for the mechanic.
okay?
Oh.
So they've hired two.
One of them is for the roads, and one of them is for a helper.
Just their entry level before they kind of move on to either.
So it's just entry level into the road department, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. That's what I thought.
Okay, now we need to go to county boards. We've got a county board that we need to set up, Agriculture Protection Area, APA. And so it's the same board, the way I understand it, as the Soil Conservation Service Board. So that is Glenn Halderman, Mark Halderman, Nancy Clark, Cody Staley, and Brandon Hunter. Right?
Yeah.
Is that the way that it works?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this was one that for these agricultural protection areas, we Reed and I ended up doing some research on this in the past. The Enterprise and Iron Conservation District, that had been the board that we had deferred to, and Reed kind of discovered that that's probably. I mean, way before my time, as you know, we were doing it that way. But that we should probably actually have this board as an Iron County board, not this conservation district. So
Yeah.
that was the impetus for this.
Yeah,
So.
I think that's wise, and I think they have a good crossover. So when they do these agriculture protection areas, do we have to pass each one, or is that just
It's not dissimilar to the planning commission or even this new board.
they recommend,
Yeah. Yep.
and then we pass that?
Yep. And so they have their vote, and then it comes before the commission.
Okay.
Ultimately, because it becomes a legislative decision. The last big one that we did was actually an expansion of the pig farms from beaver into iron, which you're kind of familiar with that area out there, but
Yeah.
kind of north and east of Lund. And that was 2016. But I
Yeah,
can
this
remember.
is, I think this is a good thing. They've been pushing this for a while in those ag agencies. And I believe you can take them out anytime that you would like,
Right.
but, as a property owner, but it protects you as a ag producer
Right.
during that time.
Right. And again, it becomes a political legislative
We
decision.
have the ordinance set up now,
The ordinance?
the ordinance for agriculture protection area. Is that something that Reed wrote, or is that something?
Yeah, we've
that is
had
a
one in place
state-
for a long time. We haven't done it recently, but yeah, we actually follow that and the state law when and there's an application process that
it goes through the state then.
that they have to do. It's
And
been
the
so long, I don't
county
recall
probably.
exactly.
Huh.
I mean, I could
Reed
research it for
laughed,
you.
so
Yeah,
he could have maybe explained that a little.
Yeah, well, and it's been long enough that we haven't had one recently, but that's the idea is those are some pretty strong protections, and the other side of that is you want to make sure you protect the citizens.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a CAFO or something like that, that's and so yeah.
So we need to make a motion to pass those folks.
Yeah, and you might include the specific names. And I haven't reached out to these individuals, but they've already been serving on the E&I board.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Enterprise and Iron is what that means.
Yeah.
So what's the name of the new board?
It's the agriculture.
Okay.
Agricultural Protection
This
Area
is the one
Board.
they're already okay. Gotcha.
Yep.
So you ready for motion?
Yep. Let's have a motion.
I'll move to approve the creation of a new county board called the Agriculture Protection Area (APA), and those that'll serve on that board will be Glenn Halderman, Mark Halderman, Nancy Clark, Cody Staley, and Brandon Hunter.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, very good.
While we're talking boards, I met with Maria last week, and we're down. She said we've just lost a bunch.
A bunch?
she said we've lost a bunch on our tourism board. I'm not sure what else. I said just get us some names and we'll take care of that. But she said we've just lost a bunch.
Tell us which boards, and maybe we can help.
Yeah, and that's
for those boards.
Yeah, she's gonna. We're gonna meet again this week and talk. That was kind of in passing.
Okay.
Last week.
Okay.
We're talking
very
about
good.
some issues. She said, "Oh, by the way."
Yeah, let's maybe try to get those for next meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good.
Yes.
Very, very good.
I will. I'll get that and push it out to you guys this week when I find out exactly what she needs.
Okay. Very good.
I also, real quick on boards, I need to find somebody to serve on the Human Services Board for Five County. Derek Morton, we just appointed him, and he's doing a great job. But we need
another one.
The woman that was on there from Iron County, I can't think of her name, but she resigned, and we need a new one. So if anybody knows of anybody who'd like to serve on the Human Services, Human
think
Service
about
Council.
That one.
Okay.
Very good.
Human Services Council?
Yes, for Five County.
Medical background or?
No background whatsoever. Just somebody that wants to. No qualifications are needed. Just an interest and a pulse.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
No.
Okay, that was a world record, I think. Zoomed right through that. We'll adjourn. Thanks, everybody.
Everybody's on vacation.
I know. There wasn't many here.